Chapter 5. Both varsity teams win handily against Hartwell, and the JV boys and girls squeak by, but it's still a sweep and everyone is pumped. Meryl's nowhere to be found, but what else is new? And since Gavin disappeared with her, it's easy for me to just celebrate the moment with my team. Afterward, Fiona drops me at home, and to my surprise, the Channel 7 news van is parked at the curb. When I get inside the house, I hear my dad saying, "They're still arguing about whose responsibility it is, and meanwhile, what are we supposed to do? This was a school event. It happened on a school bus." I can't believe he's telling them this. The cameraman is getting it all on video. "Dad," I say, throwing down my backpack, "what are you trying to do? Get everyone at school to hate me?" Marla Sumner signals the cameraman to cut, then turns to me. "This is a really important part of the story, Jessica." "No, the story is that my team is trying to do something amazing and positive. We do not have to get into all this negative stuff." She considers this a moment, then has some silent exchange with my dad before smiling at me and saying, "Your mother told me about Sherlock. Could we get some footage of you and him in your front yard?" "Sure," I tell her. Anything to change the subject. Anything to get her away from my dad. After about 10 minutes outside, Marla and her cameraman pack up and take off. I hang outside with Sherlock a little longer because I'm still upset with my father, but when I go back inside, I discover that he's upset with me. He sits me down at the kitchen table. Mom is standing off to the side, quiet. "I'm sorry if you think I'm being negative," he says. "I'm sorry if you didn't want me to talk about the school district's obligation to meet your basic medical needs. But here's the reality. While the insurance companies are dragging their feet, I am working 12, 14, 16 hours a day to keep us afloat. While they're deciding who is responsible for your hospital bills, your mother and I have taken out a second mortgage on the house. It won't begin to pay for everything, but for now it'll put off collection agencies and ruin credit or bankruptcy. Because their lawyers are playing a game of cat and mouse, we've had to hire our own. And he's told us that these kinds of cases usually take years to settle. But if we don't fight for your rights now, you will get a measly settlement that won't include the medical care and prosthetic limbs that you'll need in the years ahead. You're still growing, Jessica, and your body will keep changing. Plus, prosthetic legs wear out. I've researched this, and you will need dozens of legs in your lifetime. At $20,000 a pop, that's not something we're willing to let go or pretend isn't a problem. As your parents, we need to prepare for your future. Anything less would be completely irresponsible. So if you think I was being negative with the news crew, I'm sorry. The fact is, I'm just looking out for you." "How was I supposed to know?" I snap. "Why didn't you tell me any of this before?" "Maybe we should have," Dad says wearily. "But we thought you were dealing with enough already." I just sit there, feeling awful. I've known that my parents have worries, but I thought they would go away. I figured that in time everything would work itself out. But while I've been living day to day, worrying about walking, my parents have been taking the long view, thinking about my future. Before the accident, my future just meant college. College is something I haven't thought about since the accident, but Fiona and I did have plans. Big plans. And now, thinking about my future, I'm slapped with the reality that attending our dream college is no longer an option for me. My parents couldn't afford it then. I'll never get a running scholarship now. So Fiona will be going there without me. That thought, along with everything my dad said, and the obvious toll this has taken on my parents, hits me in the gut like an unexpected punch. I'm sorry, I choke out. Then I go up to my room and cry my eyes out. Chapter 6. I seem to have long heart-to-hearts with everyone that night. Mom, Dad, Fiona, Kaylee, even Sherlock, although the one with him is pretty one-sided. By bedtime, I'm sick to death of trying to sort through everything, and I tell Dad that he can call the news station back if he wants to. He kisses me on the forehead and tells me for the 100th time that he wishes he could change things. And then, right before he closes my door, he turns to me and asks, "What was Lucy's last name?" "Lucy?" "Sanders," I answer. But as he's leaving, I have a horrible thought. "Wait!" He looks back into the room. "You can't have her parents depositioned or dispositioned or whatever you were talking about before. Lucy's dead. They're not going to want to talk to lawyers. It would mean to ask them to help us." He gives me a curious look, and I can see him trying to stay calm. "Jessica," he says quietly, "I want to see if I can help them." Then he closes the door.